Welcome to East Meets West. Today we have a special guest out from Malawi, and he's my colleague, my friend, and a great inspiration. I would say someone who is very knowledgeable. So, Clifford Kuyokwa, and I know he'll pronounce it when he comes on screen, so excuse me. So he's the executive director of Stephanos Foundation, an international NGO in Malawi. And so what do they do is that they take care of our orphans and vulnerable children, envisioning to see them being self-reliant. And what a great mission that is, right? To enhance the fundamental survival skills of these guardians to be self-reliant. And so they run orphanage, daycare center, nursery and primary school, vocational and training colleges, etc., etc., etc. And so Clifford is, involved in so many things. Even during this week here, I heard he was, distributing flood relief, and his heart is so much into what he does. And I really do believe he is a servant leader. And I will bring him on screen so that we can hear more and learn more about Clifford's experience in leadership. So let me bring Clifford on. Clifford, welcome. And as Clifford, the camera gets uploaded. Yes, so I think we have a little bit delay in our feed, but Clifford, welcome so much to our program, and I can't wait to learn today from you about leadership. Is there anything that you would like to say before we get into talking on leadership?
Thank you very much, Shanti. Indeed, you have mentioned what we do here. Being a leader, taking the challenges of what. So I am working for this international NGO. This is my 7th year, and I'm also the first Malawian who took over from. So seeing the impact that we have made, I'm very much looking forward to share more about my leadership experiences here in Malawi.
Great. So Clifford, tell us, add some value to us on leadership. What aspect would you like to talk about leadership?
Begin with, let me say that as I'm reading, I use much of it from the servant leadership. As a Christian, and we are running a Christian organization, we believe that being a servant leader is what Christ had modeled when he was with his disciples, especially at the level when he was washing the feet of his disciples. We take that as being the modeling of being a servant leader. Again, looking at our organization, we are into compassionate ministry, taking care of children who are orphans and vulnerable so that they become self-reliant. You may be also informed that in Malawi, we have had so many orphans whom we wanted to make sure they are being self-reliant. Wow, you may be wondering, so how do a leader help those who are in need of support to become self-reliant? You have to work with a team. So I am working with a team of over 100 employees, and my duty as a leader is to translate the vision that the organization has into all these people so that we can achieve our mission. That is to enhance the fundamental survival skills into our children to become self-reliant. So my duty as a leader is to serve, just as Christ was serving, but it's not only to go and serve, it's also to train others, to build a team so that together as a teamwork, we can fulfill the vision ahead of us.
Definitely. I think every leadership workshop, training, speaker, all the great leaders, everything starts with a vision. And if, the leader do not have a vision, nobody wants to come and follow you. Where are you going? Right? And it's important that the leader especially gets buy-in and get people to be aligned to the vision. Or else, where, where are you going? Nobody wants to go because they're scared you might take them into some area that you yourself don't even know where you're going. But it's so important. But tell us more, Clifford, how does the leader maybe help align their team into going in the same direction with them?
Wow, that's a wonderful question. I should also mention that you agree with me that in most cases, the leader is going to drive the team to reach into their vision. Because if the leader himself doesn't understand the vision, it will not be possible. At the same time, understand that a vision may start with one person and it should trickle down into the rest of the followers. So it's the duty of the leader to make sure that every follower understands that vision. Because you understand it better as a leader, then you should align it to every employee or every follower so that they are also able to follow the same vision. That's not easy. I'll share with you, Shanti, that even if you are running a very big or a smaller entity or enterprise, you still need a leader who is visionary and should help all those people to follow that vision. How do you do it? You have to orient the people very well. They have to know the mission of their existence in a place. This is done in most cases when you put your communication very clear, because in leadership, communication is very key. And this communication, I'm bringing this element of communication because it's in twofold. The leader must communicate and the followers must also respond, and they must show that this two-way communication is exchanging the same idea, the same ideologies that you want to pass on. Remember also that when we see people who are working, those who know the vision very well, they always work with a purpose. They are motivated, they enjoy, and they contribute. Those who don't know the vision, sometimes they could become lazy followers or lazy employees because they don't know the vision and the existence where they are. So if you find in a workplace people are very lazy, sometimes pause and say, why are they lazy? Do they know why they exist and what they need to achieve? So having a vision, and the leader should influence, because leadership is all about influence. It's an action. You have to do actions by influencing people to do the rightful thing that is according to the vision and the mission of your existence.
Exactly. And I like that you touch on the point that you might have people who might, fall away. And yes, they might come on wanting to be part of this organization and so excited when Clifford shared about the vision for his organization that, they want to be part of it. But then sometimes something happened on the way, and some people maybe just lose heart or lose the motivation or the inspiration. And so, as a leader, how can the leader, when you said that they asked why, what's happening, but sometimes I think also is that, does this person have also the purpose, life mission, their personal, purpose and vision for their life personally? I think that something is so important too, because if they don't know their purpose, then it's hard for them to be aligned to something that, align with their purpose. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. And let me add to say that leadership, in my experience, is more of you doing the actions than speaking about it. We can easily talk about theories of a leader or who is a good leader. But leadership is about actions, and those actions should be done by you as a leader. I like to say, you better lead by actions. Be very careful with your actions, because many people will imitate your actions if you are a leader. So if your actions are not the perfect actions, people will imitate them. And learning by imitation is one of the dangerous things. because you can imitate even the bad things that you ought not to imitate. So coming back to what you are asking, how can you make sure that people have the inspirations, the alignment of what you as an organization want to do, and they become successful? You also need to have good motivation when you are working with people. Shant, let me share with you that in my experience, motivation is not sometimes about money. I may share with you that money may come in as number 3 when you rank about motivation. I'm speaking this from also my own experience. Sometimes motivation comes in when people feel they are in a very conducive environment where they feel they participate to their work, they enjoy what they do, and they contribute to the bigger value of what you are doing. And sometimes the motivation comes in because people are involved. For instance, people are consulted when you want to make big changes. And those consultations may not be the end of what you want to share, but because they are involved, they know, they buy what you want to achieve. Tomorrow, when you say, let's implement it, they will be the implementers. They will be in the forefront. So people can easily be motivated once they have a very good working environment where they feel they contribute to what you are doing. People may also be motivated when they see the fruits of what they do. In other words, when they see that there is some recognition of whatever they intend to do being really achieved, and those who are in leadership positions are seeing it. Allow me to share with you an experience in our organization here. Maybe
Sure.
it can make this point well clear. We have been helping children who are orphans and vulnerable ones. And remember, our vision is to make sure they become self-reliant, because there's no one who can support them for their entire life. So we brought in someone who was 6 years into our orphanage. So we started supporting someone from the 6 years, and that girl had some determination and she was very focused. She went ahead into the primary school, into the secondary school, through the support that we are providing. She went as far as the university. As I'm talking to you, she graduated. She is now married. She is doing her own personal things. And we are hoping she would combine personal things and also maybe business and the work. Now, why am I sharing this? The team that we are working with, we told them, our greatest achievement is to see a child being self-reliant. So everyone must support this child to be self-reliant in any capacity. So over 100 people were working to support this, but from different perspectives. Some were supporting in the school, running a school. Some were supporting into the feeding program, making sure there's good nutrition. Some were supporting into education coordination when she went to the tertiary level. So it's all about everyone else participating and participating fully, knowing that you know what you want to achieve. Don't leave anyone behind. As a leader, be also there to motivate the people so that they feel they are really motivated in their work or in whatever they do.
That is so awesome. That experience. And I know also for your team, seeing someone come through, this process here and who they have become, what is, something like that is so inspirational. And especially your team members would want to do more of that when they see, the results or the fruits of their labor, I would say. Yeah, how, one person's life can be transformed. And that's so amazing, Clifford, what you guys are doing there. And, when you said about leadership is all about action, about what people are seeing, I remember of the phrase or, the saying that goes, monkey see, monkey do. I don't know if you ever heard of that. Yeah, and so indeed, what your, the team members them see you as a leader doing, they will end up mimicking you. They would follow whatever you do. So the energy you bring, the drive that you bring to the team is so important as a leader, because that gets transferred onto your team members. So if you're not inspired and you're not motivated, indeed, your team members might not be also. So whatever you do is what gets transferred to the team members. And so I really love that as leaders, the examples that we set is so important to get them. And the next thing that you talk about too, yes, money is not everything. Right? Indeed, many research shows that employees are not always motivated by monetary rewards and those things. Yes, there are some people who will be no more economically inclined to something like that, but then there are people who also it's about their identity, right? And they're motivated in what they're part of, the organization that you're being part of something greater than them. The purpose that they're serving is so far greater than what they do personally, but they're seeing themselves aligned to something bigger than them. And so indeed all of that, as leaders, we need to take into consideration these things when we are trying to inspire and motivate people. Where do they really want to be? Yeah.
Yes, Shanti, I also wanted to share something that I find as a very challenging thing in leadership.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is according to my also experience. If you are a leader who is doing a great influence, your presence must be felt in your absence. Let me say that again. Great leaders, their presence must be felt in their absence. I'm telling you, that's not an easy thing, because in most working places, it could be in business, it could be in non-profit or profit making, in the government. Many are the times that when a leader is away, some things are going to stop. Why stopping? Because sometimes we depend too much on one person in that working place. So the presence of a leader must be felt even though that person is absent. For example, if you are the CEO of a company, the owner of a business, it should continue making the same profits when you as a CEO, you are not there. For example, you go for leave for 2 or 3 weeks, it should be performing the same way. And this is only going to be realized when you mentor other people, you coach other people, you develop, you replicate yourself into other people who can take over. It's very important that this should be emphasized, because sometimes your absence is felt more when you are out, which is not the way things are supposed to be. Because as leaders, we have to train people that they know how we do things, so that even if you are not there, they carry on and continue with whatever was being done. I was just trying to share that because I have heard people saying, we cannot process this, we cannot go ahead to do this just because the top senior management is not there, so may we please wait. I wanted to bring that to our attention, because leadership is also about mentoring others. It's about coaching. It's about passing on our skills into other people so that they can also be capable people. Capacity development is very key in management and leadership.
Definitely, definitely. I love that. The presence must be felt even when, in their absence, they're not there. And so, indeed, and, what one word that came to my mind is empowerment. And I've entered so many organizations indeed, and you ask a question, it's like, okay, I need to find out if I can do this. Or so the team is not empowered to make certain decisions. They're not empowered to do even some little things that they should be able to do. And so indeed, sometimes some of us set up businesses where you're always needed. And so I would say that's not a business, because if you have to be there, then it's like a job you have. You're not pretty much the business owner. So as leaders, as business leaders, organization leaders, indeed, it's about how do we empower the people so that they can continue working in your absence, continue working towards the goals, the visions, the mission of that organization, that things don't fall away. And you see that happening with organization where there were poor leadership, I would say. And so after, if the leader has to leave, and I saw this happening even in my country, where some people who migrated and they leave, others in charge of their business, but because they have not developed those people, to put them in charge first before they leave. You see the service goes down. You see, even, and obviously I know if the service go down, I don't see their financials, but I can guarantee you that their business on the financial side is also taking a hit. And so we as leaders, yes, how do we empower them? How do we believe in them? Do we trust them? And so that they can be able to function without us. So Clifford,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yes, I also wanted to share in line with what you are saying. You see, in leadership, you don't do it alone. You do it with other people. That's why wherever there are people working, it's a good number of them, a team. You just reminded me also, when you are empowering people, there are characters that people should also show. And some of the characters that I have seen sometimes not being found, 3 of them in one person, are characters such as, you want people who are faithful, people who can serve diligently, very faithful to the cause of what you want them to achieve. At the same time, you want people who are very available. They show all the time for the services that are needed to be provided. You also want the very same people to be teachable, so that they can learn new things, adapt, improve due to technology or to the changes that are there. Unfortunately, you can find some people, they are always available, but they are not teachable. They don't want to change. Sometimes you see people, they are always teachable, but they are not faithful in their work. And that also affects the vision and mission of the entity. So what I would recommend in management, in leadership, is if you have a team, and that team should work with one goal of being very faithful to the cause of your existence, the team should be available all the time when they are needed to execute some responsibilities. At the very same time, they should also be teachable, willing each and every day to add to their knowledge to improve and have great results. That's something that I can also share, Shanti. I don't know if it's in line with what we're discussing, but I'm sharing from my experience as a leader.
Indeed, but what I love that you bring out those points, because sometimes people think that the leader might be so hard on them, but when you share those qualities, as a follower, as a team member, as being part of the team, these are things that your team is looking out for from you. You must be teachable, right? And indeed, I've come across team members who believe that, oh, I don't need to learn anything new, right? What I know already is enough, and I don't need to know anything more. So they don't show up for training. They don't show up, in activities that might be planned to help build the team. Even part of it is to realize the organization goals, and they're not teachable. They're not open to hearing from others what others might also think, that how they can even make their department, make their team that they're running, make it even better. So indeed, I think being teachable, and you talk about available, I love these qualities, because as team leaders, as also team members, that do we bring this to the game? How do we show up with our team and in our organization? How we show up also have a lot to do, right? As team members, it's not only about the leader who's in charge of the organization, but you as an individual. How do you show up? Are you faithful to the cause? Are you, you said you want to do this. then why do people have to be behind you? Why your part that you said you will do, why do people have
Mm,
to keep reminding you about it and asking you about it, what's happening? And so being faithful and available, when people call you, oh, I'm not available, I can't do this, or I can't come, and so sometimes you might have projects that are running behind the deadline and you might need some other extra hands or extra time from them, right? And so how available are we that I do believe if you are not available, how can you be used for greater things, right? And so
mhm,
indeed, like the word busy seems to be a lot in people's mind, and busyness we say is not business, but
mhm,
yeah, I love that our team members can also understand what do they bring to the table, and to make an organization goal, or a business goal, or achieve,
mhm.
to achieve that vision, you have to also have certain qualities as team members that you are adding value to this organization, to your team members too. So Clifford,
True.
yep.
I agree. Maybe one last more comment I can share with you, Shanti. Being a leader is a challenging responsibility. I'm speaking from my experience where you are leading a team. It's a very challenging experience. And you know what I also came to realize is that as a leader, expect challenges more. And when challenges come more, as a Christian, is to pray for more wisdom so that I can handle the challenges. So every leader requires to have the wisdom, the human wisdom and also the divine wisdom from God. Because sometimes we can make decisions using our intuitions, using our own way of looking at it. Yeah, you can still make the decisions, but if you are there to save people, you have to make decisions that are for the good of the majority or all the people, because you need a lot of wisdom to handle the challenges that come in. I was talking to a team of senior leaders one time. I said, it's always good to say a challenge comes up, it should provide an opportunity for you to find better ways to change the situation. Not to cry and just think about, no, it's very difficult to be a leader. Oh, we know that already. So just pray for wisdom that God, if I'm running a country, I'm running an organization, I'm running a big company, there'll always be time to make decisions. So God should provide the wisdom, but also the knowledge. Experience brings in with good knowledge to make better decisions for the achievement of our own work. I wanted also to add that to our discussion, Shanti.
Definitely. I love, as I said in the beginning, you are a person of wisdom. And I love, the interaction that we have. I always learn something from you. And I am so, grateful that you can take the time out from your busy schedule to share with us and add value to myself and, those who will be listening that need to hear this, and, what you need to change from your perspective as leaders, or maybe your perspective as a team member, how you can be influenced to become great, I would say. From good, yes, you might be, but how can you be great in your leadership style, in your leadership skills, what you need to start thinking about and seeing differently. So Clifford, it's always a pleasure, and we do hope that one day you can also come back again and share more about your experience that you're having as the executive director of such a large organization. And so I'm gonna just ask you, do you have any closing remarks before we close the program today?
I'll be quick. My closing remarks are to say again, Shanti, thank you for inviting me. And as a leader, we should keep on learning. We don't stop to learn. We should keep on learning so that we can serve others better. Thank you for the time once again. And I hope I've learned also from you. And I'll keep on learning to become a better leader. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clifford. Indeed. Let's continue learning so that we keep growing. That's so important. See you in the next session. Thank you again, Clifford. Enjoy. Be safe in Malawi.